hai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shriniyaama Devaah Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraah Sthirairangai Stushtuvaagumsastanubhih Vyashema Devahitai Yadayuh Swasti na Indro Vriddhashravaah Swasti nः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः अथ आश्वलायनः भगवन्तं परमेष्टिनं समुपेत्य उपसमेत्य उवाच अधीहि भगवो ब्रह्म विद्यां वरिष्ठां सदा सद्भिः सेव्यमानां निगूढा यया चिरात् सर्वपापं व्यपोह्य परात् परं पुरुषं याति विद्वान् तस्मै सहोवाच पितामहश्च श्रद्धा भक्ति ध्यानयोगादवैः श्रद्धा भक्ति ध्यानयोगाद अवैः. Please know this through some more preparation. This is something, mind-blowing. One would think that somebody with the caliber and the mindset of Ashwalayana would have had enough preparation, would be ready for this knowledge. However, what this need for further preparation entails is for us to know that there are two kinds of preparations prescribed by the Upanishad. And what are the two kinds of preparation? The two kinds of preparation, the first one is called Bahiranga sadhana. Bahiranga sadhanani. And what is Bahiranga sadhana? Bahiranga sadhana means outward preparation. A preparation which is gained by engaging with the world. Engaging with the world, how can it give preparation? The last time I checked, engaging with the world only gives a headache, not preparation, because so many egos surrounded by so many people to negotiate, so many people to please, so many people to avoid, so many people to go towards, so many people to keep at bay. What kind of preparation can it give me? Engaging with the world should not give me any preparation. That's why everybody wants to go away somewhere far. That's why all the holidays are somewhere far. Because generally speaking, a person does not have problems with the ocean, with the mountains, with the meadows, generally speaking. And why is that? Because that they don't talk back. Only you interact with them. They don't interact with you. And since they are serene and quiet, then they evoke that peace in you. And so basically, what is that called? The preparation. I don't feel like I get any preparation by what? By engaging with the world. And engaging with the world is frightening. Engaging with the world seems unnecessary. Engaging with the world gives me a migraine. I wish it was somebody else's grain, but it is my grain. So what to do here? And so how can engaging with the world give preparation? In fact, this is talked about in the Ishavasya Upanishad itself. Kurvan neveha karmani jiji vishet chatagam samaha. doing the work that one needs to do, meaning engaging with everything in the universe, including objects and other people, one grows. How does one grow? By growing out of strong preferences and strong prejudices. This engagement, if it is done, if engaging with the world is done properly, it can be extremely fulfilling. In fact, it is extremely fulfilling. It is just wonderful to engage with the world and get this preparation, where the raga and the dveshas are just no longer in play. Because the person who is a mumukshu, the person who is a jignasu, engages with the world how? Not for the sake of engaging with the world, and not for the sake of fulfilling certain ragas and dveshas. That is not the reason to engage with the world for the person interested in this emotional growth, maturity, spiritual growth, etc. So, for the person who is interested in this study in Vedanta, then what is the purpose? The purpose for this person is to get to a place of non-reactivity. That is the purpose. I make my personality, I cultivate a non-reactive personality. How do I cultivate a non-reactive personality? By doing the work that I need to do, by doing whatever needs to be done, and not focusing on the results of action, but on the action itself. I do it in the best possible way, with the best possible motive, and with the best possible internal demeanor, full of values and attitudes. And therefore, what happens is that it pays dividends, not in the form of karma phala, because over that I have no say, not in the form of the results of action, but very much in the form of emotional growth. And this kind of preparation is called Bahiranga sadhana, where I discover Ishvara in the world, who is in the form of all the laws, including the law of my own karma, and who is in the form of all the obstacles, who is in the form of the remover of obstacles, who is in the form of everything that is there in the universe. So the universe has been Ishvarized. Everything in the universe, every situation, every person, every object, I look upon as Ishvara alone. This kind of preparation Ashvalayana had in great measure. Bahiranga sadhana, because he was out and about. He was a teacher of Rig Veda. That means he was engaging with the world, engaging with the students. And then he was also a Vaidika. So again, Grihastha engaging with the world, engaging with people. And therefore, Bahiranga sadhana, the outward qualifications, the outward criteria for eligibility in the form of a non-reactive personality, Ashvalayana had already cultivated. One can have a compassionate, non-reactive personality, but then what? There is an inner restlessness. The heart is pure. Raga dveshas are not that much in play, but there is a restlessness. Even though one is a sattvic person, there is a certain kind of a restlessness plaguing the person. And so therefore, Antaranga sadhanani, the inward practices for gaining eligibility for this knowledge, are also equally important. And this is what Brahmaji prescribes for sage Ashvalayana. So that is the answer that we had left hanging yesterday. How come sage Ashvalayana of all people needs so much preparation? Yes, he's prepared in one way, but then he needs to go within, which is all these three things are about: Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyanam. Shraddha is all about going within, processing, as we saw, the early hurts with authority figures. But why should I process hurts with authority figures? Because this knowledge is teacher dependent. This is exactly what we have to understand. Then I have to look for a teacher. And looking for a teacher is also a journey that is vitiated by one's own background. Somebody who comes from a background where everybody is always yelling at one another, always just yelling, screaming, shouting, fighting. The house in which this fellow grew up is like a tower of Babel. It's very noisy. And then what? And then the person goes in search of a guru. What kind of a guru will that fellow choose? Will such a person choose? Ah, I want someone who doesn't speak at all. Maunam. The guru is permanently in Maunam. How will you learn? How will the person learn if the guru is in Maunam? Sign language. Yes, to understand that sign language needs so much preparation on one's part. How will the person learn? Very difficult. And so this is again the subjectivity and not processing the background which is in the way. It's all an inside job where Vedanta is concerned. And so here, therefore, one has to be able to see objectively. That is what Shraddha is. The daring to be able to trust again. This is what we saw yesterday, Shraddha is. And then in the Viveka Chudamani, it is described as Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Satya Buddhi Avadharana. Sa Shraddha Kathitha Sadbhihi Yaya Aksharam Adhigamyate. Shastrasya, with reference to the Shastra, Guru Vakyasya, with reference to the words of the teacher, Satya Buddhi Avadharana, the ability to hold an open and receptive heart, mind. This is what is called Shraddha. That is why I have to learn to trust again. Because the trust that is reposed in the Guru is very much affected by to the extent to which I have done the homework and resolved my issues with authority figures from childhood. Otherwise, the Guru becomes another authority figure over which the transference and the projections take place. And as long as that projections and transference is actively taking place, the knowledge is not sinking in. Because the Guru becomes an authority figure. Ishvara becomes an authority figure. So the Prameya, that which is to be known, Ishvara, becomes an authority figure. Guru becomes an authority figure. And so therefore, if there are issues with authority figures that one hasn't processed, then that processing, that is itself Shraddha. Because I don't know the Upanishads and I can't read them because reading them just gives me a headache. I don't understand it if I read them. They have to be unfolded to me. And so therefore, I have to be able to trust the source that unfolds the Upanishad. Because you see, we are not teacher averse as a civilization. So there is a teacher for dance teacher, cha-cha-cha, music teacher, sa-re-ga, and then what else? Cooking teacher, there is dance guru, cooking guru, this guru, that guru, there is stock market guru, and then finally, if all else fails, there is life guru, especially if you're a celebrity, and you wake up in the morning and don't know what to wear. You call the life coach before you have a meltdown because you really don't know what to wear and you are just pressed for time, etc., etc., etc. So then, therefore, this is something which is very important to understand, that one is not averse to having teachers as long as aparavidya is, as far as aparavidya is concerned. There I can say, I am helpless, I need help, please teach me calculus, please teach me cooking, please teach me dance, please teach me music. But when the main thing in the whole world, when the most important ignorance, that is of the self, needs to be dropped, somehow one develops what is called guru allergy. The word guru, you start having hives. This is because the other branches of knowledge are other than you. This branch of knowledge is intimate. This, it's not even a branch. It is because of which all the other branches are. This knowledge is very intimate because it is yourself. The other branches of knowledge, you can deploy different means of knowledge to know. This branch of knowledge, the means of knowledge comes along with the knowledge and it unfolds itself to you. So then that's why in a Vedanta situation, most people feel out of control, totally out of control. Because what do you mean I have to surrender? I have to surrender to the knowledge, I have to surrender to the teachings. I don't have any say in this. This is terrible. Because in the other places, I can have an opinion, I can have a say. But here, this, I don't operate the means of knowledge. It operates on me, which me, ahankara, me. It surgically cuts out the ahankara and dethrones it. It makes the ahankara it transforms the ahankara from being a master to being what? A servant of this knowledge. Naturally, the ego doesn't like it. Naturally, it puts up a protest. And actually, the more famous one is, the harder it is to cultivate sraddha. That is why Ashvalayana, the famous sage, is told, please cultivate Shraddha, because the Shraddha is the lens through which the knowledge is seen. Shraddha is the pair of glasses through which the knowledge is understood, amplified, seen, heard. And that is why the Shraddha should be cultivated. Shraddha is not blind faith. It cannot be, because the subject matter here is something to understand, something to comprehend. It is not something that is, what is that? It is not something that is to believe. In the Veda, there are certain belief-based things, non-verifiable belief, which you just, there also Shraddha is required, but there it is just pure faith. But here it is trust pending understanding. Pure faith means what? That I survived death. Am I going to know? No. Okay, I believe. I have to say that there's no other way. Or I say I don't believe. But then even when I say I don't believe, it's a non-verifiable belief. Being a non-verifiable belief, it does not matter whether I believe or not, because it is non-verifiable either way. So that there is no life after death, that's also a belief. And then that there is life after death, that's also a belief. Belief. That I survived death, a belief. And that the jiva travels, belief. It goes to comfortable situations or uncomfortable situations according to papa, punya, which is karma. Belief. And then what? After that, it gets reborn again. Belief. And then all these are non-verifiable beliefs. And here also Shraddha is needed if one is to, lead a Vaidika lifestyle. But here it's the Ishvara, one being non-separate from Ishvara, is not a matter for belief. It is a truth of the I that has to be understood, and that there is no compromise here. And that's why the Shraddha becomes very important. I succumb to the operation where the Guru takes out the tumor of Anyatha Jnanam. I succumb to a surgical procedure where all the notions that have grown into a tumor and are hurting the person, it is just excised. In fact, that's what the Guru Stotram says. अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. So, Timirandha means the one whose eyes are beleaguered or affected by cataract. The cataracted one is called Timirandha. Everything looks double, everything looks dark, 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 dark. This is the cataracted one. And then what? So, the salutations unto that Guru who removed the cataracts of ignorance which distorted my vision from seeing the oneness everywhere to seeing what? Just so many differences and internalizing those differences. Salutations to the Guru who performed a successful cataract surgery. With the scalpel of knowledge, the cataract was operated upon, and I could see the truth of the self for what it is. That all this is a real spoof. All there is just one aham, one I, one atma, which happens to be Satchidanandam Brahma, which is the truth of the Jiva, which is the truth of Ishvara, which is manifest as the effect, which is non-separate from the cause, and even that causality is as though imbued upon this Satchidananda. And the Jiva-ness, the Jiva-hood is as though superimposed upon this Satchidananda. This Satchidananda is free of being Jiva, being Ishvara. Therefore, everything is one. When I see that, that is moksha. And when do I see that? I see that with the help of the kindness of the Guru, who without an agenda, without taking any fees, without an agenda, without saying, oh, I want to become famous, I want to have a following, I want to do this, I want to do that. No such thing. The knowledge is given freely. It is freely given, excuse me, without any expectations, including the expectation that the student should transform. Even that expectation is not there. Many people come, they come once in a while, they stay, they go away. It doesn't matter. And or some people come and they stay and they gain this knowledge, they expose themselves to the teaching. That also is okay. Everything is okay because the teaching is given without expectations and without the agenda. That is why, as a student, one has to have Shraddha for the teaching, Shraddha for this knowledge. Because the Shastra is actually a heap of words. This heap of words is brought to life by like a fire that looks to be dead. It's all ashes. But then you stoke the fire you prod it with an iron rod, and then you see that, yes, it's coming alive. There were some embers, and it's coming alive. The Shastra is like that. The Shastra comes alive when the Guru stokes the Shastra. The coals of the Shastra look to be dead. When the Guru stokes them, they come alive and they light up again, becoming a conflagration. This is so beautiful. That is why Shraddha. And then the next one, what is the next one? The combination. The next one is Bhakti. Bhakti means here two things. One is the direct meaning of the word Bhakti. What is that? Devotion. Devotion. And then we have spent quite a bit of time on devotion, on minting oneself as the devotee, because The understanding that I am non-separate from Ishvara can only come after understanding who Ishvara is. And as an embodied person with all kinds of, what is that called? Limitations. Embodied person with, and as though finite body, as though finite mind, as though finite senses, as though finite bank balance, as though finite Shakti. Everything is finite. And for this person, the person who is seeking the infinite is in the form of that which resides in the temple, and then that is the Bhagavan, to which the child growing up in the Hindu tradition is first introduced. And then that devotion has to be cultivated, because, frankly speaking, there is no place on earth other than the altar of surrender, the altar of transformation, the altar of devotion, which is Ishvara. There is no other place on earth where you can say your pains and sorrows and not, not go away disappointed. That's the only place. Because if you try to tell your pains and sorrows to the significant other, what will happen? Huh? The word significant will drop, leaving the other. Okay. Significant will become other. This is what will happen. And so, therefore, because how long will one person listen? One person will not listen for a long time. So then this is the devotion, because I cultivate, I get to know Bhagavan, I cultivate this place where I can take all the things over which I have no control. Things over which I have control, we are not talking of. We are talking of the helpless, that which brings me to my knees in helplessness, powerlessness, fearfulness. All these things, I have to take it to the altar of surrender. And then what happens? I find that even those things don't change. What I have changed, what has changed is me.
Me.
Take it to the altar of surrender, thinking that they will be transformed, but actually, surprise, surprise, I was the one that is transformed. The Meera Bhajan says this. Mori lagi lagana guru charanana ki. I'm very much connected to, attached to the feet of the Guru. Why? Jhoota maya sab kuch sapna ki. Everything else is like a dream. It is mithya, it is maya. And then she says she went to the Guru for swimming lessons. How to negotiate the ocean, the turbid ocean of samsara, with full of undercurrents of greed, pain, sorrow, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, all these things. How to negotiate this? This is what she was in a quandary about. And then she went to the Guru seeking instruction. Then that was the altar of surrender. The Guru was the altar of surrender. And then what? And then she says that the Guru transformed her vision. The Guru did not give her swimming lessons. What did the Guru do? Make the ocean of samsara disappear. भवसागर सूख गया है, भवसागर सब सूख गया है, फिकर नहीं मोहे तरनन की. मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, उलट भई मोरे नयनन की. The Guru transformed my vision, so that when I looked, there were no crocodiles, no sharks, no whales, no alligators, no clingy seaweed, no undercurrents, no tsunami, no breakers, no surf, no ocean. The ocean was but a notion, and that notion was dismissed. This is the transformation that bhakti brings about. And the bhakti and the shraddha go hand in hand. And sometimes people come and tell me, I don't feel any bhakti. I'm just going to the temple. I'm just even at the altar at home, I'm just putting the flower, I'm just doing this. Doesn't matter. Fake it until you make it. Actually, you're not faking it. You're faking that you're faking it, really. You're not faking it at all. Bhakti is natural. Parama prema swarupa bhakti. Narada Bhakti Sutra says this. It is of the form, the bhakti means it is of the form of unconditional love, absolute love. And love alone in its dynamic form is bhakti, ananda, compassion, etc. That is what bhakti is. Bhakti is very natural. So this is the first meaning of bhakti, devotion. And bhakti also has another meaning. What is the second meaning of the word bhakti? Here, with regard to the instructions given to sage Ashpalayana, the second meaning of the word bhakti means is the focus, single-minded focus, the commitment to the teaching. Commitment to the teaching, what does commitment to the teaching mean? Commitment to the teaching means that I don't swerve away until and unless I get this knowledge. I stay with the knowledge. I stay with the teacher. I stay with the knowledge. I don't really go away until and unless I gain this knowledge. This is the bhakti. Bhakti means devotion. Here, devotion is purposely translated into commitment, which means devotion to the teachings. Devotion to the teachings takes the form of devotion to the Guru. And who is the Guru? Guru is not a person. Guru is not a person. Guru is that knowledge that comes alive with the help of a person, yes. But Guru is the embodiment of that knowledge. And that's why we don't seek to socialize with the teacher on purpose. Because even though if you want to talk about the weather with the teacher, Guru will oblige, no problem. Guru will say, yes, it's a rainy day. Yes, it is sunny. Yes, it is kind of balmy, isn't it? No problem. The Guru will say that. No problem at all. However, that's like a waste of time. It's a waste of time. You go to the Gurukula, you go to the Guru, not for any other favors. Give me this, give me that. Many people come to the Guru. Many people come to the Gurukula seeking, when will my daughter get married? This is the this is the main desire. When will my son get married? When will I? Why aren't they wanting to get married? Well, they are not wanting to get married. Why? We very clear. This generation of people, they don't want to. What is that called? Generation Z. Gen Z doesn't want to get married. Why? No sraddha. There is no trust. This is what it is. In the olden days, there was just Shraddha means the trust was with the parents, and the parents had trust in Bhagavan, and then Bhagavan made a match in the form of the horoscopes dating in the astrologer's house. The horoscopes would date in the astrologer's house, and astrology was a manifestation of Bhagavan, as we have seen, Shani, Guru, Shukra, etc. And then somehow they put the trust in Bhagavan and two people got married. But now what? Now where is Bhagavan? Just a concept. And then what is one left with? One is left with a huge compendium of raga and dveshas and a huge ahankara alongside. I am so qualified. I need somebody to be equally qualified. I have this. I need somebody to have that. And then I have that. And then I need somebody to have this. This one is an idiot. That one is not good. This one is not like this. Like this is not possible to get married at all. Because marriage means commitment. And this commitment is not possible unless there is Shraddha. So here, that was just a little example, but here, this is exactly, why this is exactly how one grows out of seeking the teacher for or seeking Bhagavan and seeking the teacher for many as a means to various ends, rather than seeking God for as an end in itself. This is a very, very big growth, a leap, a kind of a quantum leap. Usually, like the child comes to the mother, oh, I hurt my thumb. Kiss it here, make it better. I already put band-aid. No, 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 you have to just look at it. I think it's not okay. I think it's bleeding. It's not bleeding. No, no, something is wrong. Make it better. I had a fight at school. Make the bad ones go away. Make the bullies go away. Mommy, daddy. This is what it is. So the same kind of attitude I take to the mommy and daddy of the universe also. Bhagavan becomes a medium for wish fulfillment rather than an end in itself. Similarly, the teacher also becomes a medium for wish fulfillment rather than the desire to study. So, whether you go to the teacher, the teacher just blesses no matter what. Whether you go to the teacher as as someone who can fulfill the desires, or whether you go to the teacher wanting to drop the desire completely, that is one's choice. Or maybe it is choiceless, I do not know. But that growth has to happen. And that growth is what is being talked about here. That growth from approaching the teacher for various kinds of uh, blessings to be to be to be free of this, to add to this, to get rid of this, to want this, and then growing from that to seeking the teacher for the ultimate blessing of dropping all desires. That is the transformation that we are talking about. And that is what Bhakti brings about, this transformation. And then the closing words of the Shvetashvatara Upanishad come to mind. Yasya deve para bhaktihi yatha deve tadha gurau तस्यैव कथितार्ह्यर्थाः प्रकाशन्ते महात्मनः iti. So this is something which is very beautiful. Yasya, for whom? Yasya deve para bhaktihi, for whom there is ultimate devotion, commitment here. Devotion means commitment in Bhagavan, in the Deva. Yasya deve para bhakti, yatha deve tatha guru. Just like I have bhakti, commitment to Ishvara, I have commitment to the Guru, to the teaching. Tasyaiva, for him, her alone, for this person alone, kathitha hi arthaha. Kathita means that which is being said. So we have had now 5.5 sessions. 5.5 sessions we have had of this Upanishad. So all these sessions, Kathita. Kathita means they have all been articulated. But then Kathita is different from Kathitaha Arthaha. Arthaha means the meaning of that which was communicated. The meaning of that which was communicated. So that which was communicated is one thing. Wonderful. So many things were communicated, and this was also communicated, and then this is fine and it's wonderful. But then the meaning has to light up in the heart. It is the ultimate blessing. The bhakti and the sraddha together give the blessing of the meaning of the words of the Upanishad lighting up in the heart. Otherwise, it will always be the Guru said this and the Upanishad said that. One becomes an academic, an Upanishad academic. In fact, with the burgeoning of all Dharma studies, Hindu studies, and so many things in academia. This is also happening. There is so many Hindu studies department, this, that, and what not. And then what is going on over there, God only knows. Because there it is not academia, it is academia. It is just keeping on counting, keeping on counting. How many times the word Arjuna comes in the Bhagavad Gita? Who cares? Do you want a counting exercise, or do you want to be transformed like Arjuna was? How many times does the word Dhyanam come in the Upanishads? This is just an endless thing. This is only dealing at the level of the relative, not the absolute. The absolute has its own. The absolute means what? It is you. It has to transform one absolutely. Otherwise, it is of no use to study that. Absolutely no use to study that. May as well just, be have life before how it was. May as well have life as usual. No problem. But here, this is exactly what is needed. The bhakti yasya deve para bhaktihi yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaiva kathita hi arthaha. Kathita means that which was told. What was told? that that you are the whole, that was told. Oh, I am the whole? Okay, that's not enough. I am the whole means what? What is in the heart? A big hole. No, no, no. That HOLE has to be transformed into WHOLE. Then only this artha is shines. Prakashante. तस्यैव हि कथिता हि अर्थाः प्रकाशन्ते महात्मनः प्रकाशन्ते महात्मनः इति. Mahatmanah means for the Mahatmas. Who is the Mahatma? Guru? No, no, no. The Shishya. Shishya is called Mahatma. Why? Because it is an act of greatness to commit to this knowledge. It's an act of greatness to transform, to commit to transform oneself for this knowledge. It's an act of greatness to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning for those who are in the East Coast. It's an act of greatness to be able to say, I am going to put aside my difficulties and I'm going to overcome these difficulties for the sake of this knowledge. I'm going to prioritize this knowledge. That means suspending other things which are coming, which may be coming in the way, which may be what I want to do, which maybe perhaps I really need to do that. I have other things I want to do. But here, what have I done? I have put that all aside and I have committed to these teachings. And this is something that makes one great. This itself makes one great. So Mahatmanah, for the Mahatma, Prakashante. What Prakashante? They shine. What shines? Who are they that shine? They means the words of the Upanishads brought to life by the Guru are received by the student like the live coals of knowledge. It is a dynamic interaction. The teacher transmits the teaching by removing the ajnanam. The teacher's teaching, the pedagogical handling of the various prakriyas, the various methodologies, removes the atma ajnanam, self-ignorance, and in its stead, what is there? What is there is just oneself, the truth of oneself. And that itself is transformative. And I have to surrender to that. I have to surrender to the words of the Upanishad. I have to surrender to the words of the Guru. And as long as I have authority issues, this one is an idiot, that one reminds me of mommy, this one reminds me of daddy, and this one, is disappointing me. This is what happens. Because if I keep on relating to the personality of the teacher, then the student will get disappointed. because it is at a very shallow level of interaction. It is the same kind of level that with which we interact with the masses of people in general. But the relationship to the teacher has to be special, otherwise it will not transform. So how do I make the relationship with the teacher special? By using the teacher on special occasions. This is what it is. By using the teacher for removing as an eraser of Atma Ajnana, not as anything else. Otherwise, what happens is that one focuses too much on the personality of the teacher. And the personality of the teacher will be very boring, just like your own personality, like his own personality, her own personality, so many personalities, so little time. The teacher has a height, the teacher has a weight, the teacher looks a certain way, the teacher is in a male body or the teacher is in a female body. And the teacher the teacher eats idlis, let us say, for lunch. Or if the teacher is from North India, eats jalebis, whatever it is. This is how it will be if I relate on the level of the personality. But here, what I'm doing for myself is the same thing that I do for the teacher. I am trying to drop the personality filled with strong prejudices and preferences, and similarly, I drop the personality where the teacher is concerned and only connect to the person. Purusha. I don't know God. I don't know Upanishad. I don't know Bhagavan. What I can see is the teacher walking, talking, embodiment of the Upanishads. And when I treat the teacher as the embodiment of the Upanishads, then the words start to shine. Otherwise, I get distracted. Oh, the teacher didn't look at me. The teacher didn't give me special attention. The teacher did not say hello. The teacher did not say bye-bye. This becomes the obsession. Again, taking us back to what? Mommy, daddy issues. That is why I spent so much time yesterday talking about that. That's exactly where we are, back to square one. Therefore, this has to be a special relationship, not vitiated by authority figure issues. I keep this person untouched by all that in my life for the sake of the gaining of this knowledge. So, transference will happen. It is part of the life. It is part of the unfoldment of the Shastras. It is part of trust. You trust the teacher, the transference happens. But immediately, of course, the teacher does not participate in counter transference. If you ask the teacher, for example, why did you do this to me? The teacher will not start making excuses and say, that day I was very busy and what that. The teacher is just going to say, oh, it's bringing up something for you, is it not? That is what the teacher is going to say. Please resolve whatever it is bringing up for you. This is not on me. Yeah, so this is, even if the teacher may not say that, the teacher demonstrates that. And then this becomes an occasion to go within and say, there was a projection. There was a transference. Let it not come in the way. Let me withdraw this transference back to myself. Let me withdraw the projection back to myself, keeping the teacher-student relationship into a very, very, very special relationship. An absolutely sacred and special relationship. This is really what it entails, and therefore it is just you don't try to make the connection with the teacher commonplace. There is utter lack of complacency. There is no this is a place where there is no complacency. There is a gentle alertness. Yes, there is a lot of love. Yes, there is a lot of connection. All that needs to be there. Yes, there is closeness. Yes, there is a sacred connection, an intimacy, if you will, but a closeness that is not vitiated by the operation, what is that? The wheels of the operation of the raga dvesha wheels spinning. My prejudices and my projections, my preferences, I suspend, I consciously suspend when I relate to the teacher, keeping this relationship extremely special and trustworthy. So that as long as the trust is there, the knowledge shines in the heart, the knowledge goes in very easily. It's almost like the person cannot see Bhagavan where? Sitting in the heart. But the person sees the teacher. Person cannot relate to the Upanishad, but this person sees the teacher who is an embodiment of the Upanishad. The person cannot identify with Bhagavan, but the person can identify with the teacher who is identified with Bhagavan and the teachings, and therefore they gains this knowledge in this way. It's just so beautiful. It's almost like I don't have darshan of Bhagavan. I can only see the teacher. Therefore, the Shastra says, see the teacher as Bhagavan. And then what does the teacher do? The teacher moves aside, and there is Bhagavan right there. That's why we keep saying, and I keep saying, when you are ready in Vedanta, the teacher disappears. Doesn't appear, disappears as you, in you, non-separate from you. And so the Shraddha and Bhakti become the sacred tools of self-development, self-growth, emotional maturity. In order for this ahankara to drop, in order for all the notions held by the ahankara, wrong notions about the I, about the world, about God, to drop. And only in the wake of this alone, the transformation takes place. This is why Shraddha and Bhakti, they go together. And as we have seen, there are two meanings of Bhakti. One is the devotion to Bhagavan. The other one is the commitment and devotion to the knowledge itself. I don't swerve from the teaching. It is not, an occasional dabbling into it. It's a committed pursuit, without which I'm fit to be committed. This is how the pursuit is. And so, Shraddha and Bhakti in tandem prepare the heart to be less suspicious, to have less samshaya, to have less diffidence, to have less hesitation, and commit to the teaching. And Karma Yoga, which Ashvalayana has done in good measure, gives what is called Chitta Shuddhi, freedom from the hold of Raga and Dvesha all the time. Then what is left is Chitta Naishchalyam, Nishchalasya Bhava, Naishchalya. Naishchalya means where the heart is tranquil. The mind is tranquil. The thoughts are not running thoughts, each one running after the other, and each one completely, discombobulating me, overwhelming me. Oh, but that's exactly how my mind is. It runs a mile a minute. That's exactly why the Shastra, to study this knowledge, which is so transformative, one needs the understanding, and the understanding of what? Chitta Naishchalya. I learned to enjoy a tranquil mind. How do I have a tranquil mind? I learn to enjoy a tranquil mind by allowing the thoughts to run away without me. I neither invite the thoughts to come and stay, nor do I ask the thoughts to run me ragged. I just observe the thoughts, let them come, let them go. I still am. And so dhyana, the last one, dhyanam, shraddha bhakti dhyana yogat. So tesham yoga. So this shraddha itself is a lifestyle. Shraddha plus bhakti plus dhyanam, this combination All three are Antaranga sadhanani, inward preparations for me to be able to enjoy the teachings and allow them to seep into the heart and not just to be, a lip service. And so Dhyanam is meditation. And meditation means cultivating what is called sajatiya vritti pravaha. Pravaha, flow. Vritti, thoughts. Sajatiya vritti, same thoughts. Oh, but it's so boring to think the same thoughts. It is less overwhelming anyway than to be thought by the thoughts. The thoughts have you enthralled. The thoughts are running a mile a minute, and your mind doesn't know whether it is awake or asleep or where it is going. It is being run ragged by the two different kinds of thoughts, dragging it and quartering it. Poor antahkarana. So therefore, here I learned to just enjoy the thoughts like vibhutis, like glories, without being run by them, without being managed by them. I learned to manage the thoughts. How else to do it? Other than to give the mind a task. I tell the mind, I want you to think a thought for me. The mind goes, that's easy, come on. I think so many thoughts per day, billions, trillions of thoughts I have per minute, and I can easily oblige you. What do you want me to think? Om Namah Shivaya. Oh, that's easy. Om Namah Shivaya. Okay, now I'm going off to play and I'm going to think of many other things. No, I want you to think the same thought again. What? Are you crazy? The mind says, no, 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 please oblige me. I told you I can do it. I'm a pro. Okay, show me then. Om Namah Shivaya again. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. First thought should be what? Om Namah Shivaya. Second thought should be what? Om Namah Shivaya. Third thought should be what? Om Namah Shivaya. Fourth thought also should be Om Namah Shivaya, but by this time the mind has had it. The mind says, you're making me meditate. Oh, interesting. Has anything happened? That's the fourth thought. Then the fifth thought, I bring the mind back. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. For as long as I am doing the meditation. If I have told myself I'm going to meditate for 1 minute. So for 1 minute non-stop, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Incidentally, 1 minute meditation acronym is what? OM, OMM. So at least start there. 1 minute meditation. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. This is Sajatiya Vritti Pravaha. It's a mental worship. And this Sajatiya Vritti Pravaha, the idea is that when I'm in a non-meditative state also, this practice gives me a say over the ways of this mad mind. Then I'll be able to commandeer the mind to say, we are not going down this road of thoughts. Why not? Because they are self-deprecating and I am not going to put myself down. I can tell myself this. No, but it is kind of morbidly pleasing to just know that to just keep thinking I'm a bad person and I'm doing all kinds of things wrong. No, stop. It is, I'm not going to indulge in this morbid pleasure of going down this road. We are not going there. No regrets. We are not going into the past. We are going to stay with the present. I bring my attention out. Om Namah Shivaya. I ground myself. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Then the mind, wants to future fake, wants to head out to the future. Oh, I'm having a wonderful imagination. I feel like I'm being honored. I'm getting an award and I'm being put on a throne. Somebody is giving me a certificate. Somebody is crowning me. Somebody is doing this to me, doing that to me, all these things. Is it really happening? No, no, it's my imagination. Come on, don't deny me my imagination. No, come back. Because you are living in unreality. How do you know I won't get an award? When you get the award, you can tell the mind, I'll be the first one to clap. Don't worry. When you get the award, I'll be right there. I will fete you. I will commend you. I will celebrate you. And even now, I'll celebrate you because you know what? You don't have to get an award to feel important and to be important. You are important to me. You tell the ahankara, you tell the mind, and then you bring it back to the present. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And to have a say over the ways of the mind, there is nothing that replaces meditation. That quietude, that tranquility, even if you're not a great meditator, even if you cannot, some people can spend hours just sitting by themselves and sitting in japa. If you are not that, fear not, lament not, just practice for 1 minute. That is really, it's very transformative. And you can just put a timer. You can do anything for 1 minute. It's not a big deal. You can do anything at all. No problem at all. And then after you have mastered 1 minute, don't immediately say, I'm going to sit for 48 minutes. No. Sit for 1 minute twice a day. Sit for 1 minute 3 times a day. Sit for 1 minute 4 times a day. And then perhaps you can do 2 minutes. And like this, in small increments, you work with the mind and you have a say over the ways of the mind. And then with enough practice, you see that even when you're not meditating, the mind is not running a mile a minute. It's not falling over the thoughts. It's not tripping over the thoughts. It's not terrorizing you with the thoughts. It's not holding you in thrall. So just like we said, in dealing with the teacher, we have to drop the authority issues and things from the past, etc. Same thing in meditation. In meditation also, we have a very powerful injunction from Lord Krishna in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Sparshan Bhakhyan Bahihi Kritva. Sit to meditate only after keeping the external world external. This is a very funny thing. Why is it called external world? It is called external world because it is outside. How can I keep what is outside already, which is outside? How can I keep it outside? But here it's a very ingenious injunction. It shows how I have internalized the world in the form of people, in the form of their commissions and omissions, in the form of my omissions and commissions towards them. Therefore, all I have to do is to see this and drop this. How to do this? First, we visualize something benign, not imaginary, something we have seen, like a range of mountains, like a river. Benign. For most people, it doesn't bring up any kind of a horror, horrifying memories or anything like that. Most people, 99% of the people, I would say, enjoy looking at the ocean, looking at mountains, looking at trees, looking at river, looking at a meadow filled with flowers. So I visualize that. Then I see that in relation to this, it's very easy to see that one is a non-demanding, appreciative, and contented person. River. Non-demanding, appreciative, contented. I don't want the river to flow in a certain way. I don't want the river to flow at a certain pace. I don't want the mountains to look any different. I don't wish the meadow had more or less flowers. I'm happy with exactly how they are. What are what is the meadow? What is the river? What is the mountain? External world, of course. Here I have no problem keeping the external world external. I appreciate it. I don't have any demands. I don't have discontent. Replace the mountain with the mother. ah, There is the rub, isn't it? Immediately there is a difference. Mountain, external. Mother also external. This is how she was. This is how she is. Mother also external, but also what? Internal, rather internalized in the form of unrequited expectations, fears, regrets, sorrows, pains. This is what I have to do, keeping the internalized mother, keeping her outside. How do I do that? By granting the mother total freedom to be who she was, who she is in my perception. Let her be however she is. I retain the love and care for the mother, and regardless of whether she is in this body or not, I just let her be. Let her be whoever she is, whoever she was. And in so doing, I am free of the burden that she should of the feeling that she should be different. She should have been different. She should have paid more attention to me. She should have stood up for me. She should have done this for me. She should have done this for me. I don't have to carry that burden anymore. Then I have to, then again, when I see the river and when I visualize the Father, I see that there is nothing in common with the both of them, except the last word ER. Father also ER, river also ER. Otherwise, there is nothing in common. River, external, Father, both external and internalized. Again, I take the time to grant the Father the freedom to be whoever he was, whoever he is in my perception, and in so doing, I grow out of the feeling that he should have been different. This is how I keep the external world external. You can even do this for people in currently in your life right now. You can do this. And you can say, I visualize the person. This is exactly how she is, how he is. And I grant them the freedom to be whoever they are because I'm sick and tired of carrying expectations that are not requited, that may never come true. I let go so that I don't get low. I need to let go. So this is what it entails. And then there might still be some remnants, or it's a particularly difficult day. I'm not able to let go. That is when I pray. I let it go in the form of a prayer. And in this prayer, I just say, take this away. Hare, hare. Take it away, take it away. Take away the burden of these expectations. Take away the burdens of these desires. Now the mind is ready to meditate. And the definition of meditation is what? Saguna Brahma Vishaye Manasa Vyaparaha. Mental activity is meditation. Mental activity is also daydreaming. No, no, no. Mental activity for which the subject matter is Bhagavan. Sagunam Brahma. That is meditation. That is why we don't just say some meaningless sound. We always have a mantra given by a teacher, a mantra given by an acharya, a holy person, or a person who you respect, like an elder in the family, grandfather, grandmother, mother, father, whoever. And this mantra is chanted, it is received reverentially, and it is chanted repeatedly. And when I chant it, there is no room for the raga dveshas compendium. There is no room for misunderstanding. There is no room for pain, sorrow, a sense of incompleteness, a sense of limitation, whatever it is. I become one with the mantra. I immerse myself in the mantra. And yes, there will be distractions. Each time the mind goes, I bring it back gently. Each time the mind goes, I bring it back gently. This is Dhyanam. We also have another form of Dhyanam called Nididhyasanam, but that is more of a contemplation after one has studied for a length of time. Then you can just recall the words of the Upanishad. Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Davaihi. And so you can recall the words of the Upanishad that you have studied and that you know, and revel in that meaning. Revel in the glory of that meaning, repeatedly immerse oneself in the meaning, in the glory of oneself. That is what is called Nididhyasanam. That is also a form of meditation, but we, to distinguish it, we say contemplation of the words of the Shastra which have been taught to me. Of course, I can't contemplate on something I do not know. So these are words that I do know, and this is what I want to contemplate on. And this is exactly what this is exactly what Dhyanam is. So Dhyanam, right now we can just take it as Saguna Brahma Vishaye Manasa Vyaparaha, a place where the prayer, a silent prayer, the confluence of the silent prayer, which gives the blessings of the stillness of the heart. The confluence of prayer and the stillness of the heart is called meditation here. And this meditation, along with Shraddha and Bhakti, internally transform the person. Karma Yoga externally transforms the person. These tools given by Brahmaji for all of us internally transform the person to be more receptive, more accommodative, less judgmental, less reactive, and more compassionate. This is the whole idea. And then the Upanishad, the Kaivalyopanishad continues and then says what? This is how people gain this knowledge. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyagena eke amritatvam anashuhu. Not by action, not by progeny, not by any other way, not by money, not by any kind of savings, etc., etc. But tyagena eke, by renunciation, by giving up alone of all these things, one gained this knowledge of you. Eke means a few. These ones, these holy ones, these rare ones, these fortunate ones, these blessed ones gained the knowledge. This is how the Upanishad proceeds. But then, for the sake of this retreat, we had just said we will look at these accoutrements for gaining the tools, for gaining the knowledge. And so now that discussion is complete. So before we say the closing prayer, I'll invite questions, and also along with questions, just some what is it that you are taking away? What is it that you're taking away? Uh, you can just talk about that. Some takeaways. Some takeaways of today you can talk about, and some highlights of this you can share, because whenever you share something, the other person benefits also. So whoever wants to share can unmute themselves and share, or write something in the chat pod and also share. And you can ask questions as well.
Swaminiji,
Yes.
hello, hi, I'm Nisha. Had a question. You spoke about Dhyanam and, Om Namah Shivaya chanting. So
Yes.
while chanting, do you, is it the thought will that be just the words, or will it be, for example, the form of Shiva?
No form. No form. You don't allow any form. You just the words. You can actually, if you really are finding it hard to do it without a form, see the words in whichever language you can. See the words in front of your eyes repeatedly. That really gives a very immersive experience of meditation. See the words in front of your eyes, written in Devanagari, written in English, written in any vernacular language, doesn't matter. Okay, see the words. No, nothing to visualize. This is you just focus on the words. You just let the words take you.
Okay, thank you.
Mm.
Everyone, Swaminiji. Question. I have two questions. One is I heard
Can't hear
somewhere.
you very well.
I have two questions, Swaminiji. Is it
Yeah.
okay? So one, I heard sometimes somewhere somebody saying bhajan means bhaja is to serve. So
Yeah.
bhajan comes.
Seva,
So does bhakti is related to the
yes,
similar word?
it comes from bhaja. It comes from bhaj. Sevayam. Sevayam is not just seva means doesn't serve. To dwell in, to be committed to. That's why I said bhakti means commitment.
I said that's why I was thinking like single-minded focus. You said is a bhakti. Means to
Yes.
serve. Serve is to physical attitude.
No,
The
no, no.
physical.
The attitude serve here means partake, to indulge, to be with it, to make that a priority. Okay? Yeah, correct.
And other question is it's not a question. My observation on one topic that comes up like childhood or a third part. I mean parents. What are the issues coming from parents? Most of the times the issues come not from the parents but from either significant other or yourself. Why was it I was so stupid at that time? Why is it I can't be what I should be now? So that keeps on coming back again and again in cyclic.
That is, yourself is what? That yourself is a product. So unless the child was told, the child was told that you're not good enough, and that is what has been internalized perhaps, or somebody told, and then that is what has to be let go of. Yeah.
How can we do it, Swamiji? Because it keeps haunting.
You replace the thought with Om Namah Shivaya each time. And tell yourself, I am okay. The Shastra says I'm perfect. The Shastra says I'm okay. Shastra finds me acceptable. Guru finds me acceptable. So therefore, I am acceptable. Tell yourself that 150 times every second if you need to. It will go. Where will it? It will not stay. It will go.
Thank you so much.
Swaminiji,
Yes.
what I got out of this was the stepwise progression to coming to this state of being in the sense. So you do Bahiranga sadhana by performing your duty, whatever they are, with an attitude of loving service and devotion to God, followed by Antaranga sadhana, which is observing the mind and continuously bringing it back to the focus of doing your duty
Yes.
and remembrance of God. And both of those practices will give you a non-reactive mind.
Yes. Which is necessary for the knowledge.
Absolutely necessary.
Perfect.
Also, from which we also gain chitta shuddhi, and then we can concentrate on this chitta ekagrata by
Chittanacharyam, yes.
Naishchalyam and Chitta Ekagrata,
Mhm.
so that we can practice this Sajatiya Vritti Pravaha,
Yes.
and which is the remembrance of God by chanting the name of God and concentrating on the form of God in every moment. So dhyana then can become like this remembrance of God, and this chanting and japa can become like the background sound, like right now we have sa pa sa, as the shruti, I want, I want, I want. So hopefully the culmination of dhyana gives you that constant playing of God's name and eventually
Yes.
absorption of the mind.
That's beautifully put. Very good.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. So that's what I got out of this.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Nirmala, yes. Please go ahead.
Pranam Swami.
Hari
Yeah,
Om.
thank you. Hari Om. I had just two questions, Swaminiji, because I heard it yesterday's talk and today's talk. The clarity between Apara Vidya, where you said that it is other than you, and Para Vidya is where we need to drop the avidya so that we know ourselves.
Yes.
So I was wondering, if you could clarify on that. And my second question, Swamniji, is you mentioned that Guru is the embodiment of all knowledge because the Shastra, the teachings is unfolded. And you
Yes.
also mentioned transformation of all desires needs to be dropped. So all desires here would be binding desires. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes, absolutely. Binding
Okay.
desires. Yeah, binding
Okay, just
desires means the desires that run you ragged.
correct.
Other,
Okay.
because desire itself is a blessing. It's a manifestation of Bhagavan. Kamosmi Bharatarshabha, Dharma Aviruddha Bhuteshu Kamosmi. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, I am in the form of desire that is not averse to Dharma, that is not away from Dharma. This is what is there. And uh, then this is exactly what one has to do. So the other desires that run me ragged, they are let go of, because this teaching is what I want. That ekagrata is there. And then secondly, the first question of paravidya and aparavidya. Aparavidya is everything, knowledge of objects, knowledge of things other than you. And Paravidya is self knowledge, not as put in the book, but as handled by the teacher and as given in the form of vritti jnanam, as given in the form of a vritti, as a transmission, as a thought from the teacher to the student. So, like when you listen, when there is like an aha moment, and you can see that there is some transformation that has taken place, that is Paravidya. Rest everything is Aparavidya, including the book called Upanishad. That is also Aparavidya until and unless it is activated and then the transformed into a transmission. That is what
Thank you.
makes it Paravidya, and that Paravidya is you. And you don't have to be taught about you. The ignorance is removed, that by which mental frame or thought frame the ignorance is removed is called Paravidya. That is what
I
is
got
Paravidya. Yeah. And so,
Thank you, Swamiji. My biggest takeaway, because I've been listening for years, I'm based in London, is Japa Dhyana, which you brought about as one of the Antaranga sadhana. So I
yes,
just wanted to share that. It has helped me tremendously.
very good. I'm so happy. Wonderful. And then Bhaskar and Lalita, they have a question. Please go ahead. Question, or they want to share something?
Yeah, Pranam Swamiji, this is Bhaskar here. I just wanted to share that what connected well with me today was the sloka from Svatmavidyananda Upanishad, how to relate to Guru. I think that really helped me a lot. The other one was from Bhagavad Gita. We talked about Sparshan Bahyan, that sloka. I realized that I wasn't doing the preparatory steps for the japa. I just jump into japa without doing these steps,
Yeah.
and maybe not being very effective in the way I was doing japa.
Yes.
Thank you for reminding me about that.
Yes.
Namaste, Swamiji. And I would like to add that in today's teaching, the main takeaway is the shloka where you said that tyagena only by tyaga is this amritatvam.
Yes. It's the
Um,
third mantra of this very Upanishad. The next mantra
yeah,
which we aren't studying. Yes.
yeah. And it's not by money or prajani or by
Yes.
anything.
Yes.
So there definitely this is the main goal that we all should be aspiring for, because
Mhm.
um, this is Amritatvam. And also the meaning of the Kaivalyopanishad, where you explain that Kaivalyam is the oneness. It's the onlyness, which is oneness, and how you
Yes.
explained it, that we carry the world in our temples. And that I was thinking about it for some time. Like, yeah, it's not easy to get away from it as long as I've not resolved the
Yes.
thinking process. Yeah.
Very good. Yes.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Very good. Miss now Arun and then Vivian.
Namaskaram, Swamiji. One practical takeaway is the give the freedom to everyone and however they want to. I never heard that perspective before, and especially when I sit for meditation, someone said day like 3 days earlier, like it bothers. I think this is kind of a very new perspective, and I can immediately see some kind of freedom to kind of let them be. You don't need to get bothered about it. I think that was very beautiful. I have one question. I think the first class you mentioned, um, we already realized or we already know who we are, but here we are kind of rediscovering. That was actually something new. I know I was thinking about it for last few days. Is it kind of like we were realized or we experienced it? We are now trying to kind of go to that realization and sustain it. How do I kind of think about that?
It is, like putting these glasses on on my head rather than the forehead. The reading glasses are now on the forehead, but they are forgotten. I have forgotten that they are on the forehead. So I keep looking for the glasses of which I am already the possessor. Similarly, I keep looking for moksha of which I am already the possessor. This is me. This is the moksha is already me, and so I have to recognize that. And the recognition is not through karma, not through action, but but through the letting go of all wrong conceptions that are there, standing in the way of gaining this knowledge. The wrong conceptions dropped, and the self being self-evident, then one is able to revel in the glory. That is how it works. I hope that was clear.
Thank you, sir.
Vivian.
Pranam Swaminiji. Following on Arunji's question.
I can't
and
hear
also
you very well.
Oh.
Yes, tell me.
Following on Arunji's and Pravinji's questions, when it comes to Dhyanam, in working with habitual orientations that we have had from childhood, things like, oh, you're no good,
Yes.
you're not good enough and whatnot. So I don't think, my understanding is that we cannot change that, but we can replace it with the truth during Dhyanam. Like meditation is...
In meditation, you suspend that. And then when you expose yourself to the knowledge, you can change that. You don't have to change that. It wears its welcome out. It goes away because there is no space made for it. Because the autobiography of you, which the Upanishad has written, reads much better than your own autobiography. So naturally, you will choose that. Your autobiography is what? Autobiography of a bhogi, not a yogi. All right. And so, what is the first? I can imagine the manuscript will be dripping wet with tears already, soggy with tears, full of ink blots and full of all kinds of pains. Chapter 1, pain. Chapter 2, pain continued. And then chapter 3, is this all there is to life? Chapter 4, it's not my fault, it is somebody else's fault. Chapter 5, to be continued in the next Janma. This is what one thinks of oneself universally. But then the teaching is something else. It's so beautiful. The teaching says that's not what this is all about. This is you. This is that is not you at all. You are whole, you are free of limitations, and that's what you want to be. So, in the light of the sun, the darkness, just like the darkness drops, therefore, when you are flooded by this knowledge, those notions goes scurrying away like cockroaches. As soon as you turn on the light, they go and hide somewhere. They just, they don't come out again.
So the purpose of Dhyanam then is to just suspend those,
The
let's say,
is,
unreal things.
yes, the purpose of Dhyanam is to enjoy a mind that is focused and receptive to this knowledge. That's that's the purpose of Dhyanam. Okay.
Thank you, Swaminiji. Pranams.
So here are some email reflections. Before that, Praveen, has shared some flyers for the upcoming retreats and all that. So you can please download them. If you just scroll up, it is there. Harinder says, what stays with me today is the meaning of the words of the Shastra unfolded by the Guru, lighting up in the heart. Then Parvati says, one takeaway of the many from the class, dropping the self-ignorance has to be chosen, and it is dropped through Shravanam by listening to the teacher as the embodiment of the teaching. Then Janani says, how the words of the Upanishad so compassionately, clearly, and refreshingly point to oneself through the Guru never ceases to be appreciated. So much gratitude. Sharada says, the altar of surrender, this is where I can offer up at any time my misperceptions about the self. I feel this is very comforting. Then Parth says, my main takeaway from this class was the importance of keeping the external world external for self-development realization, particularly with regards to parents' family. Also learned how to start meditation as a preparation, 1 minute meditation, and increase from there with your blessings, which I will undertake. And then Nisha says, one main takeaway for me is the sraddha in the Upanishad and the Guru, Bhakti, devotion to Ishvara, Dhyanam by way of Sagunam Brahma, and Upasanam will lead to internal transformation. Tathastu, let it. Shweta says, my takeaway from today is how Guru and connection with Ishvara helps us to drop the ego, which is the hindrance in connecting to the true self. Also the powerful tool of japa and dhyana to continue self-exploration journey. Very nice. And then Narayan says, OMM, 1 minute meditation, very appealing. And then Kalpana says, develop the right attitude to the Guru. Also appreciate the refresher on the process of meditation and focus on objectifying and keeping the external world outside. Hope it will help me resolving the triggers and to see the glimmers when triggered. Then Saraswati says, my takeaway from today is how we should not focus on the personality of the teacher and understand that the teacher is an embodiment of the Upanishad. With gentle alertness, we have to maintain the sacred connection. Let go, Vidya says, let go and grow. Let go in the form of prayers, Hare Hare, Hari Hari, 1 minute meditation, negating morbid thoughts, refuge in Om Namah Shivaya. Much gratitude and love. Prashant says, one takeaway is that a tranquil mind is not about stopping thoughts. It is the one that allows the thoughts to run away without me. I will attempt to practice this. Savitri says, more clarity on how we project our experiences and judgments on Ishvara. Wonderful. See, everybody looks to have had a wonderful time, and so did I. Thank you very, very much for joining. And then until next time, Alpana says, much gratitude. This was a very transformative weekend. Wonderful. And so, indeed, indeed, it is a blessed time when we can just revel in the Shastra together. And so, thank you for coming. Thank you for attending. And these classes will be on the YouTube of Arsha Vidya Gurukulam YouTube. It will be there. And you can go to the Arsha Vidya. I'll give the arshavidya.org. That is the website. You can go there for more information and and the opportunities to study with the resident acharyas there. There are many resident acharyas. I'm just a guest acharyas. Once in a while I come and teach for Arsha Vidya and go away. Okay. And so there are some resident acharyas. You can study with them if you want. And Chitra, as always, has been helpful and given the given the website where the talks will be there. There are many other talks also. We also have a website here. I'm going to write that Arsha Vijnana Gurukulam, and you can go there for what's its name? You can go there to get more information about the ongoing classes, etc. There is also a YouTube channel you can go to, and that also I will put.
Swamiji, Shambhavi has raised her hand.
Shambhavi, yes, tell me.
Pranam Swaminiji. So I wanted to say thank you so much for this beautiful opportunity to study more. And one takeaway that I really enjoyed to learn more about the Svatmavidyananda, like many other people mentioned. And I would like to know if you can guide us.
Last mantra.
Last mantra, okay. Yeah. And also the beautiful, something really dropped today about how you said the absolute has to transform one absolute. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Happy that you could study, happy that everybody is here. It is so hard to say goodbye, but it is just a see you later, see you again. Okay? All right. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritangamaya, Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् all the best